What's cracking? Quick message. The meek will inherit the earth, not desire-ridden, gain the whole world and lose your own soul people, you know what I mean? And just to speak on what's going on in New Mexico, a lot of people homeless, addicts suffering, tons of animals suffering. And every time I talk to people that are, especially the ones that are doing wealthy, the elites, right? The elites of Santa Fe, New Mexico, the ones that have multi-million-dollar homes, the ones that I am a servant of. And I don't mind, you know what I mean? But there's two different kinds of people. Maybe three, you know what I mean? Maybe three or four, but the two that I'm talking about is the meek, the humble, the children, you know, the dogs. That's a daga. That's a sacred word, daga. It's not an animal. I seen just real quick. I was rolling through Santa Fe, you know, the Holy Land. If you look up Santa Fe, it has a holy meaning. Good morning, by the way. It's a beautiful Saturday morning. And the more I meditate on Christ, and I wanna learn the Christ consciousness. I have my compassion, my heart is opening up more and more, and it's hard. Compassion can kill you, but you know that old saying, you can kill them with kindness, and kindness will always win. You know, but me and Boxer, it's like 90 degrees the other day in Santa Fe, right? And you know, they're making the weather. They can make it rain in the drop of a dime. I don't need to argue about it. Anyone can look up the geoengineering weather modification program. But anyway, people are saying, oh, where'd this weather come from? It's so weird. Yeah, well, just look it up, baby. You know what I'm talking about? Just Google it. You're on that phone all the time. You know what I mean? Look at the sky. Look at the rocks. Look at the fungus on the trees. That's why the trees and plants are sick. Air quality. What comes up goes down. Is that common sense? I'm an idiot. You know what I mean? But maybe not so much so anymore. And you have to believe in yourself, because Christ will. Because Christ never deserted us. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, you know, I see this poor dog is 90 degrees in this cage. He's, you know, this person's got a brand new Hummer, right? And it looks stupid. You know, fuck your new stupid rides. Go out and help the world instead of saying, oh, that's just the way it is. But I live in a, you know, multi-million-dollar home in Santa Fe, and, you know, that's just the way it is. I'm just trying to do my best. Yeah, well, what is the best? The best is caring for our neighbor, regardless of what transpires. You know what I mean? I have a good neighbor over here, and we share the same PTSD. And when he has a hard time, I say, hey, big dog, it's all right. And that is the way I talk. Don't let anyone tell you, you don't talk like that, you know. Well, I'm no culture vulture, but I'm old school, and I like the word big dog, you know what I mean? So fuck it, I'm gonna use it, you know. If you don't, you know, Karens will find something to do. But this poor dog is in a crate, 90 degrees weather, this little crate, and it's crying out, right? Me and Boxer got air conditioning. I'm just feel so bad. But on the crate, it says, I smell dead things, right? And it's not even a white crate in the back of a truck. I see that all the time. You got to keep your vehicle so pretty, right? But you can't let your best friend ride with you. Fuck that. I let Boxer ride up front. You know? And you know what's funny is when you have something nice and then someone sees that, you know, not that you, it's not like you don't disrespect it, but you see through, you know, money can't give me a hug. Money can't talk to me. Money can't play golf with me, go fishing with me like my dad can. Are you nuts? Gain the whole world and lose your own soul? Nah, you can have that. You can have that. But anyway, this poor dog, and it says, I smell dead things on the crate. You know, I mean, how would you like to be back there? And I don't wish that upon anyone. I'm gonna be taking down some of my, you know, anything negative on my channel. I'm taking it down. That's a bunch of bullshit. Excuse my language, but that's what it is. It's Om Shivaya. I've been letting my love show and grow, but sometimes you got to let your love slow, not flow anymore. Sometimes you got to use your brain, right? And a lot of times you have an open heart, open hands, and you'll be speaking from humility and servitude, and these people will just spit on your sacredness. They will spit on life. You see it, and that's the same thing with the animal in the crate. A sacred dogga. That's my spirit animal, is a dogga, you know. But I'm not an animal. You know what I mean? And doggas will look up to us, being strong and not abusive. And if I can use the word alpha male, one of my clients told me that one time. My good friend Dean Busalis, who I buried a coyote puppy yesterday for, and I didn't charge. And he's got millions of dollars. And here's the difference. Dean is a fucking good guy. He's not, he cares. He went and buried that puppy coyote that got probably attacked by some mountain lion. And I've lost dogs to mountain lions out here. But see, that's the thing. Are we just gonna say, you know, that's just the way it is? And I was talking to, you know, some elites. You know, they're just saying, well, you know, the governor's doing the best she can. Well, I'm sure she says she is. Like my mom says I love you, sweetie. Oh, well, why did you kick back in the room and let Ray beat me with a 3-foot stick when I was 9 years old and then defend that is not abuse? Oh, well, no. Let's change the subject. You want to watch a movie? Let's watch a movie. Yay, yeah. I don't even watch movies anymore. I'm not down on it. Playing games and stuff. I'm done with playing games, watching movies. Fucking waste of time. And you may look at what I'm doing as a waste of time. Well, that's fine. But I'm going to follow Christ, and what I believe in is the meek will inherit the earth. And this elite, you know, I was having this conversation the other day, and they're saying, you know, we just need to work harder. You got to work harder. Especially in Santa Fe, right? Where it's so, that's why I don't live in Santa Fe. Because it's being taken over by elites, and they're just building, you know, parks on top of Native American burials, and they don't give a damn about culture. That's why all the streets are flooding in Santa Fe. They don't care about the infrastructure. The original Las Vegas, New Mexico. All the animals got flooded out in the shelter. They don't give a fucking damn. You know what I mean? Get the fuck out of here. No, you're not. What you speak and what you do is entirely different. I'm not a perfect person. You know what I mean? But I don't know what's the best. I'm just trying to do my best. I don't know. Am I? Is it this or that? Well, I'll tell you what. I know what my side is in life, and that's life. That's life. And life is not death. Life is not destruction. Life is love. Life is forgiveness. And if you love someone, you can let them go. That old saying, right? So I'm letting my mom go. Bye, Mom. It's been good. Enjoy the gifts. Isn't it funny how I gave more gifts than you? I always spent the most money on Christmas on, and last time at Christmas, everyone just shredding up the paper. You know what I mean? I'm throwing away the paper, right? So everyone's not making a mess. That's always my job because I like to work. And they use that. I was the one that had to clean up the chicken coop. As a kid, I got ran over by a horse. Trying to feed the horses, but it's all in the way you treat others. They will treat you back. Just for instance, my good neighbor, we share the same PTSD. He's taking care of his family. He runs a good landscaping company. My only neighbor over here, and uh, I tell you what. It was a beautiful day when we learned to see our differences, but also we had so much in common, and that we're both trying to work hard for our families. I got my Daga family over here. He's got little kitties over there, and he's got a good wife, but he works hard, and he quit his addictions and cannabis. That's harm reduction. Plant medicine is harm reduction. It's not trading one addiction from another. And you can talk down on cannabis. When someone leaves alcohol and switches to cannabis, you can talk down on all of it if you want. And that's a big thing in New Mexico still because cannabis is legal. It's so funny. You know what I mean? Alcoholics will be making fun of a cannabis driver because they're going slow. Oh my God, you're going slow. Oh, Lord have mercy. Cheech and Chong, right? Cheech and Chong, man, they're on the road. Hey, man, hey, man. Going real slow. Lord forbid you go slow. You know what I mean? Lord forbid you calm down in this fucking rat race. I've had enough of it. I need to hire someone because I just, I can't deal with these elites that just care about money. Most of them care about money. But like my good friend Dean Busalis, he buried that baby coyote. And I went over there and threw about, 200 pounds of rocks, lava rock, river rock, packed it with the caliche, made it so the water moved around it so that nothing buries up nothing digs up the body. Because just because life has moved on, the energy, that doesn't mean it's not sacred. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean you can, for instance, I just talked to this elite, how I'm still fighting with the governor. She's trying to do her best. She went to Japan. It's flooding over here. It's fucked in New Mexico. Did you have a good time in Japan? Flying your little jet? Huh? Did you have a good time at the jewelry store? Remember when you shut down everything for COVID-19, but you had to go get your favorite Native American necklace? Yeah? You still abusing the Native American jewelry? Yeah? Like Stewie from Family Guy? Yeah, he's still working on that novel? Yeah? Okay! Excuse me. A little comedy there. But yeah, whatever you say, Mom. I love you. I love you, sweetie. I love you so much. You know what I mean? they're not even looking at you in the eye, you know. And that's the sickness, you know what I mean? So I'm pulling my love back from those that don't respect love or life. You know what I mean? Like I told this good friend of mine, he's an elite, but I said, you know, what are you going to tell the children and the dogs? Are you going to and the cats? Are you going to tell them work harder? You know what I mean? Get down on it. Work harder, and don't forget to become a vegetarian. You ever tried turning your dogs and cats into vegetarians? Woo! I'm gonna make a video on that. I got some treats that are plant-based. It's like the last time I went to McDonald's, it was like a laxative. But anyway, I was gonna give Boxer some. She was like, "What the fuck is this?" See, they know. They know. Children know. They know more than us. They know more than me. You know what I mean? And that's what we need to get back to is that simpleness. You know what I mean? Like Bob Marley said, you know, you want more. You want more. Yeah, you got all you have, but you want more. Yeah, give me more, give me more, give me more, huh? Mm-hmm. And we just gotta work harder. We gotta work harder, little Timmy. That's what I'm gonna go tell my dog. You better work harder. You better put in your work. See, that's what I had to do, raised on a fucking nasty ass farm. You better put in your work. We're gonna send you off to juvie where you're gonna get raped. That's where Ray Hartwig, the principal, Zuni High School, shout out. I'm taking you to court. I'm gonna take you to court. We'll see how that principal legacy looks. We'll see how you look on Lincoln. You know what I mean? All these fucking what's it called? I don't know. Titles, awards, the golden. You know, Hillary wants to give the Peace Prize to Trump. Oh boy, really? And Trump wants to have USC fighting right on his lawn. He wants to have people beat the hell out of each other and bleed broken bones on his lawn. Idiocracy has come true. Idiocracy has come true. We're living it. Shout out to Mike Judge. What up, big dog? Holly Weird, not so weird. They show what's going on. Time to fucking wake up. Time to help out the animals. Time to help out the children. What, Jimmy? You hungry, buddy? You get fresh water. You hungry, buddy? Gotta get that fresh water. There you go. Watch it. Want some water? Watch cartoons? Come on. Let's go watch cartoons in the room. Okay. There you go. Where's Mr. Burger? Oh, Mr. Burger, he's a knucklehead. So this is where, and I don't do this to show off. I had to take a little break there. Excuse me. Nature calls. I had to let Boxer in. What are you doing now? We're about to watch Saturday morning cartoons. Say what you want. You know what I mean? And enjoy your wine. Enjoy your margaritas, Governor of New Mexico. You know what I mean? It's a small town, and I know people that know you. And I know, I know what I see. And it's funny, you're at some ceremony, saying you care for the artist and all this while you're, you know, did you really pay that jeweler, that Native American jeweler, when you shut down all of the other, when you shut down the whole town, but you could shut me down because I take care of your cockroaches. Just joking. Only necessary services, right? If you have to go to work and make a living, that ain't necessary. You better stay home, put on your muzzle, get the fuck out of here. But anyway, hey, Governor of New Mexico, how did you even pay that artist what she wanted? Or did you Jew her down? Not to use that word. My dad used that word. That's not a good word. But it's a word that means, screwing the artist, right? And I believe I've been a waiter, so you should tip the waiter. Because that's some damn hard work. And it's going out of style. Robots are taking over. Fuck robots. Fuck these robot dogs, too, fighting with dogs and shit. If I see a robot dog, I got a nice baseball bat for you, buddy. I got a little something for you, buddy. It's called vinegar. Short circuit your pineal gland, which you don't have, little buddy. I'm in a funny mood. Okay, back to the governor. Yeah. She said the governor of New Mexico. But anyway, I heard how much you just love your margaritas, huh? And New Mexico has the best margaritas. I just heard a commercial. As soon as you get your your new vaccine, hang out and have some wine. Have a wine tasting. Oh, it's so neat, the wine. It's good for you. First fucking lie, alcohol is poison. Get the fuck out of here. Best thing to do with alcohol? Strip the fucking paint off your car. Kill some bugs. Come back to me later. See what alcohol does. Talk about alcohol. That Lysol disinfectant spray they're spraying all over children's toys in the commercials? I had a client was trying to kill ants. Not only did she kill the ants, she took the paint off in the bathroom. She took off the enamel. Oh, yeah. But it's so beautiful. We have so many microbreweries. Yeah, you had a new beer at Second Street Brewery, and you fuck your beer. Fuck your beer belly, bitch. You know what I mean? Excuse my language, but enjoy your margaritas. Enjoy your poison. Enjoy your wine, Mom. All, like I said, breaking out of the cult Masterpath, I never seen so many alcoholics. Not so much cannabis. You know what I mean? And if you smell a little whiff of cannabis, oh shit. Someone's doing drugs. I'm going to tell on you. Have you been smoking marijuana? While you're chugging some wine. Those energy drinks are bad for you when you're drinking fucking, a whole pot of coffee, Mom. I don't know. We just need to wake up. Call a spade, right? Sri Gary Olsen, Masterpath, one of your favorite sayings. Maybe you should call a spade. Instead of saying the world's a garbage dump and saying that you look forward to death like a bride does her wedding day, you are a bitch. Use that word. A bride does the wedding day. A lot of women, they don't like to get married because a lot of guys are not good people. And it's time we quit putting down dogs. Dog is a sacred term. And a child. You know what I mean? But go ahead. You know, Masterpath. It's funny. They would catch Sri Gary Olsen. He's supposed to be so clean and pure. He's eating McDonald's. They've seen him several times. We came in flying and we saw the master. Oh my God, His Holiness. And you're not going to believe it. He was eating a Big Mac at McDonald's and he was drinking a beer. Oh my God. He's like Jesus. He drinks the wine. No, Jesus wasn't drinking no wine. Maybe he had a sip, but it was probably mixed. It probably had some plant medicine, like Jägermeister. Jägermeister is still alcohol, still poison, but it has like over 56 different herbs and spices. So it has way more medicinal property than most alcohol, but it's still got the alcohol in there, so it's still fucking poison. But I'm gonna make my own little concoction without no alcohol. You know, you can pull plant medicine with alcohol. You can make the best dabs of your life. You know, get the ganja, get the dry leaves or fresh leaves, put them in a mason jar, put it in some alcohol. Doesn't matter what strength. The stronger the better. You can use the rest of that vodka rest of that gin like I did and put it in the freezer. It'll knock off the trichromes, plant medicine. You let the alcohol vape off. You don't want to be smoking alcohol, that's for sure. Or vaping it. Hell no. The alcohol is a carcinogen. So enjoy your carcinogens. You know what I mean? Masterpath, cult. You know what I mean? All of you were looking down on me because I used some cannabis so I could relieve the stress of the fakeness. I saw through the fakeness. I saw how I walked into every cult meeting and all the eyes were on me all of a sudden. I don't want to be. I'm not trying to draw attention. You know what I mean? Go look at yourself. You know what I mean? Look at your alcohol and look at your own addictions. Don't be mad at me because I smell a little bit like some good American Spirit natural non-additive tobacco, or I smell like cigars, non-additive tobacco. You know what I mean? Cigarettes, fucking Marlboro, that's poison too. You guys already know that. I ain't smart. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to follow Christ, that's all. That's all. But anyway, I wanted to say real quick, my neighbor, we get along really fucking great, you know, because, you know, the greatest day was, well, I'll tell you what happened. One day he came over and I was just losing my mind. This is when I was pulling away from alcohol and dealing with my demons of all the past, all the abuse from the past. I have to let it all go. Let it all go. Just let it all go. Let it be washed away. But one time he came over, you know, because my dog, rest in peace, Ultra, who got shot by this fucking rancher behind us. He's some drunk rancher, keeps popping off dogs just because they're on the property. And they ain't hurting your cows. You should be shooting mountain lions. You should be looking out for that, you fuckhead. I like to go over there and just say, you know what? You want to shoot something? Here, go for it. I'll record it too. Pop it. Come on. Go. You want to give me a pop? Come on, big dog. You all tough and shit? Come on. You like to shoot at kids and dogs? For what? You know what I mean? If you're shooting at doggers, You ain't got no respect for kids either. I've seen that. Ray Hartwig, the principals, he would kick dogs, right? Never clean out their water bowl, talk shit about them, laugh about them. They don't treat their dogs good whatsoever over there. They keep them tied up, all fucked up. And I'm not the best person because when you're raised by wolves, that's how you're indoctrinated to raise other, But I'll never have a family. I don't think, Maybe there'll be a good girl, a good ganja girl out there, no alcohol. I'm gonna go to church possibly tomorrow. I need to start going to church. I have some good friends that wanted me to go and play some music too. And see, that's the thing too. Music is very dark wolf, or you can feed the light one. You can feed the wolf that's gonna be your buddy, like Boxer. Boxer's related to the wolves. They're all related to the wolves. It's time to start respecting each other, I believe. And so hold on, my neighbor, I digress. So he came over, this knucklehead, Mr. Burger, his dog, came over. Well, he was trying to take over everything, the doghouse, and he got in a fight with Ultra, rest in peace. I got him tattooed on my arm. I had him tattooed before, long before he passed. And I know he's still here. I love you, buddy. But energy never dies. It just transforms it into many different. I don't know. That's just a little bit of what I know for sure, that energy never dies. But anyway, I got mad at him, the neighbor, because he comes over and he's all, I don't know, he's pretty bloody, and they got in a fight, and I just went off on him. You know what I mean? I just went off on him. I was like, get the f out of here. And it started like, I can be scary. I could be a warrior. I'm a lover, not a fighter. But if you want to see my sword, Om Shabaya, I can create and destroy. I'm not the creator or destroyer. But, like I said, if they want a warrior, I could be that too. And I will. I will be a warrior. I know it sounds cheesy, but I found my place in life. I was raised by wolves. I was blessed to be raised by my dad, who was a most of the time calm addict, total drunk. Come pick me up, totally drunk. He'd be throwing up, just totally, I'm surprised. We got pulled over a few times, but it was always at night in the mountains and shit. And he'd always drive these really loud cars, and he was wild, man. My dad was so wild, and he's still there. He's still here. But that's the thing is, every rose has its thorn, and I choose to smell the roses. I choose to not step on the roses. You know what I mean? You ever seen someone trim some roses that don't even care about it? Oh Lord, I'll never forget one of my beautiful clients. I got to give her some roses because she's always been there for me. She gave me a great gift of some money, and I'm gonna go return it. Also, my uncle Danny, or real quick, my neighbor. I digress all over the fucking place. But the greatest days when my neighbor came back and said, I'm sorry, man. And I said, you know what? I'm sorry too, bro. And you don't got to get all weak. You don't got to get all. But it's always best to get along, right? I think it feels fucking great. Even though if it's fake. But I can't accept that anymore. I used to just push my love and my gifts and everything, and I'm not anything great, onto my mom and family, and they just, you know what I mean? Just, and they just spit on it pretty much. My mom, is so spaced out. She's head in the clouds, thinking this world's a garbage dump and she must just pretty much escape. Passivity. Passivity is not spirituality. Even your cult leader says that, but he is the epitome, the definition. Masterpath, Sri Gary Olsen, the cult I broke out of, he's the epitome, the definition of a hypocrite. Just for instance, he left a dog in the desert one time, and they say, his students with a heart, and don't drown out your heart with your own desire, with your own overindulgence. You know, just my 2 cents. Just because you have some money doesn't mean you should just go spend it. On what? On that new robot car that can control you? Is that what you spend it on? New washing machine? New dryer? My washer and dryer broke, and I don't give a damn. I just wash everything by hand outside. Your washing machine gets nasty in like a week. You know what I mean? We should see how these other cultures live. We may say they're uncivilized, like the Last Samurai. That's a beautiful movie. That's an absolutely beautiful movie. It shows everything right there. Everything I'm talking about. The Last Samurai, how Tom Cruise comes in, spoiler alert, he's a major drunk. He spits, he laughs, he spits and laughs on and despises the samurai culture, makes fun of them with the honkies, right? I'm Anglo, but anyway, so he's Anglo, and he even does these shows where he's totally shit-faced drunk, right? He's hiding his own demons. Finally, so he gets captured, spoiler alert, by the samurais, and they don't kill him because they see what a great warrior he is, and how he will defend his flag, and they see his heart. And this guy, instead of taking him out, the head samurai master has compassion on him and brings him into the village and pulls him away from alcohol. even after Tom Cruise has slaughtered his children's children, right? Like his family, he's done everything. And what does he do? He kills them with kindness. And what happens? Amazing story. And then Tom Cruise becomes the samurai. That's why I practice, martial arts. I'm no master of nothing. Sri Dingleberry, you can have that. You're the masturbator. Master of masturbation. That's what you are. And I know how you love your cigarettes. You change. You're probably smoking Marlboros. Who knows? You're smoking meth and crack. I mean, you got to change your sweatshirt after every meeting. I smoke big old fat stogies. I never change my shit. What are you trying to hide? Why are you spraying on old man brute cologne? That smells like shit. But what are you trying to hide? Why you got, you're eating breath mints that are full of preservatives. You ain't nothing clean. You're eating McDonald's and drinking a beer. Beer has over 300 chemicals in it. You ain't nothing pure. You ain't nothing pure, fucking Sri Gary Olsen. So you need to take down that picture of you holding hands with Christ and the other Salwan Singhji, Rumi, Hafiz, Kabir. They don't want nothing to do with you. That's not what they teach. What you teach is not what they teach. You plagiarized all their teachings, and then you say you're the second coming of Christ, right? You're gonna have fun. You're gonna have the wake up call. And Christ said that many will come, right? In my name. You know what's so crazy? I was raised to spit. Excuse me. But I was raised to spit and make fun of, just like the last samurai, of Christian culture. Not so much Catholicism, but whenever a Bible was introduced, this and that, it was just like, oh, just like fire, fire. And then I realized, where did that come from? Well, that came from my mom and Ray making fun of him all the time. They would just listen, and I have to agree, a preacher with a jet airplane and his fancy suit, that ain't no man of God. And I man no preacher. Me. I man no teacher. I'm only a Christ seeker, Christ consciousness. And that is loving your neighbor. That is the bigger understanding. The holy understanding that Gary Olsen talks about. We need to have this holy understanding, right? And listen, right? Well, you're not listening, are you? Yeah, you ain't listening. Hell, you don't even, if you want to listen, why don't you give out your phone number, homie? And you're telling people this isn't a detox center. You're putting down all the people that are addicted to alcohol. Well, that's so-and-so's job. I'm not here to help addicts. You're here to help yourself, huh, buddy? But time's running out. Karma has come for you. Karma is real. Reincarnation is real. And I know that for 100% fact now. The lives I've lived before. And I know I was in India, my past life. That's why, as a child, I'd be going and scouting the 50-acre property we grew up on, which he spit on most of the time. And looking at different herbs and plants and knowing that there was medicinal properties in them inherently. It was funny. We'd roll up sagebrush and sage, which is sacred to the Native Americans. We'd roll it up and smoke it, get a little lightheaded, trying to start fires. Lord have mercy, me and my brother Fred. I'm gonna find you, Fred. But real quick, another thing, spitting on the Native American culture. Ray, can you just stop that? You know what I mean? Can you quit doing that? Because you're a really bad influence, and you're a grandfather of 2 now. Well, we go out into the truck in the morning. You finally get a shitty truck warmed up, smell like WD-40, which is a heavy carcinogen. But we'd be like, oh, WD-40 smells good. You know what I mean? Nah. But he'd be making fun of Navajo chants, Navajo prayers. Shame on you. And you know what happens? Well, we just follow suit, right? Oh, that's so funny. That's no, it's not. And I'm sorry. Because everything we say, like Christ said, you cannot tame this tongue. So words are very powerful. You ever seen Gran Torino? It's a famous clip on YouTube, but I love it. Gran Torino, what's his name? Clint Eastwood, yeah. So he rolls up and there's these gangsters, these wanksters, right? These pranksters about to hurt this young lady, about to grape her. And it's sad I have to censor myself, but I try not to say that word. But anyway, he comes up and he doesn't even pull out his heat, right? He just pulls out his finger and goes, BAM! You know what I mean? He goes, BAM! You hear that? You hear that power? You know what I mean? I could just go up and just go, BAM! Get out of here! You know what I mean? Does that sound inviting? No. And those are the last words to my mom, not get out of here, but I said, hey, here, how does it feel? Yeah, I am upset. You threw us away. Don't have children if you're just going to throw them away, literally. Happens all the time in New Mexico. You know what I mean? Don't have children if you're going to be smoking cigarettes like my mom and smoking marijuana and then put them on Ritalin. Not marijuana, cannabis. Marijuana is a made up stupid word. Reefer madness. Yeah. But don't, please don't do that. You know? And you don't have to listen to me, but don't, just, can we wake up? Stop disrespecting the meek. Can we see what we're putting out there? You know what I mean? We're all influencing. And that's the thing I realize humbly that I have the power to, and everyone does. You have great power to help the world, or you can just be selfish, overindulgent, Sodom and Gomorrah. And I don't believe that God came in and just destroyed everything. No. I believe there's wars and stuff because that's what happens when people get lost in their passions. Because enough pleasures and desires, Gary Olsen says this all the time. Like he speaks so much truth, but he's like a demon because then the next thing he's talking about different disgusting sexual positions right in front of 16-year-old girls, and then he edits stuff, and everything comes from God, right? But you do edits. Does that make any sense? That's why I don't even edit. I can't stand it when you watch a YouTube video and they're like glitching, you know what I mean? Because they edited it. You know what I mean? Just speak from the heart. Come what may. A little bit of thorn, a little bit of rose, a little bit of the last samurai. But anyway, please stop disrespecting the culture, and money ain't shit. And we'll catch you on the flip sides. You know what I'm saying? Later.